Scientists say chlorophyll. These pigments help make the world green. These cells are filled with tiny round chloroplasts, structures containing the pigment chlorophyll. This is a word used to describe several kinds of green pigments in plants. They are often contained in structures called chloroplasts. These green pigments use sunlight to make energy out of carbon dioxide and water. In the process, they produce oxygen, something we all need to get by. In a sentence, scientists were able to identify algae in a photograph taken from space using the chlorophyll and other pigments inside cells. Algae, single-celled organisms once considered plants, they aren't. As aquatic organisms, they grow in water. Like green plants, they depend on sunlight to make their food. Carbon, the chemical element having the atomic number 6. It is the physical basis of all life on Earth. Carbon exists freely as graphite and diamond. It is an important part of coal, limestone, and petroleum. It is capable of self-bonding, chemically to form an enormous number of chemically, biologically, and commercially important molecules. Carbon dioxide, a colorless, odorless gas produced by all animals when the oxygen they inhale reacts with carbon-rich foods that they have eaten. Carbon dioxide is also released when organic matter is burned. Carbon dioxide acts as a greenhouse gas, trapping heat in the Earth's atmosphere. Plants convert carbon dioxide into oxygen using photosynthesis, the process they use to make their own food. Chlorophyll, any of the several green pigments found in organisms that perform photosynthesis, creating sugars from carbon dioxide and water. Chloroplast, a tiny structure in the cells of green algae and green plants that contain chlorophyll and creates glucose through photosynthesis. Oxygen, a gas that makes up 21% of the atmosphere. All animals and many microorganisms need oxygen to fuel their metabolism. Pigment, a material like the natural colorings in the skin that alter the light reflected off an object or transmitted through it. The overall color of a pigment typically depends on which wavelengths of visible light it absorbs and which ones it reflects. For example, a red pigment tends to reflect red wavelengths of light very well and typically absorbs other colors. Pigment also is the term for chemicals that manufacturers use to tint paint. Wavelength, the distance between one peak and the next in a series of waves, or the distance between one through and the next. Visible light, which like all electromagnetic radiation travels in waves, includes wavelengths between about 38 nanometers and 740 nanometers. Radiation with wavelengths shorter than visible light includes gamma rays, X-rays, and ultraviolet light. Shorter wavelength radiation includes infrared light, microwaves, and radio waves.